welcome back to Two Puerto Ricans and a Black Girl. Today we are back and our girl is back. Woohoo!
Yay! Whoop, whoop.
Yes, we're so
We
happy
missed
to have the
you.
trio back in effect. And today we have a special guest who's going to help us give us a little insight on the male perspective on some of the topics we've been talking about. So I am the Dope Widow.
Hey guys, it's nice to be back. I am the Love Guru.
Welcome back, cutie. And I am Mimi, the Lifestyle Diva, and welcome to this episode.
Ooh.
So, like you said already, Gigi, we're going to be talking about some of the things we already talked about, but getting a male's perspective on it and a minister's perspective on it. So I kind of gave away who our guest is our resident feel-good guy. We could bring him in now.
Welcome.
Hey there.
Praise him. How's it going?
Well, yeah.
Well.
So listen, Kwame, do me a favor. Please reintroduce yourself. Tell the people your name, what you do, because a lot of people are like, oh my God, I loved him on the last show. He was so, but I don't remember, I didn't get his name. And, so tell the people who you are.
Got it. So my name is Kwame Thompson. First off, I'm a minister. My 9 to 5, I'm a supervisor for an organization called SUV, Stand Up to Violence. It's a snug organization, anti-gun violence organization where we work to reduce gun violence, shootings and homicides in our community. We do that by mediations. We work with the highest risk individuals that's most likely to shoot someone or be shot. I'm also the co-founder of the Hard Truth Company, co-founder of Power Purpose, which is a mentoring organization, non-for-profit, and owner of another organization called God Is, which is my company. I do a lot of community work, community activist. I am the clergy for the 43rd Precinct, and I mentor rookie officers when they come to the precinct before they go out in the community.
That's new information. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's something you slid in this time, but last
Yeah,
time,
I gotta see which hat I'm gonna put on.
You got a lot of hats there. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what we're doing today is we just want to go over some of the topics that we already have, because we always come from a woman's perspective, of course, because we're 3 women. But we felt like those topics really could deserve to hear a man's perspective on them. So we're just going to sit here and just have a little conversation with you about some of those things. And the first question that I have is, one of the topics was, can you love more than one person at the same time? Or can men and women be just friends? So I want to touch on that one first because you laughed.
I'm laughing at both of them right now.
So do you think men and women can be just friends?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The way that looks depends on where you're at in your life, though.
Amen.
Yes.
Say it
Right.
again.
It definitely depends on that.
I was the black sheep that week.
Really?
Yes, men and women could be friends platonically, and my co-host, both of them said no, that men and women couldn't be platonic.
They were talking about that phase in that particular time of their life, because there's a phase in your life where
absolutely
that ain't gonna happen.
no, you can't be friends because you're not ready, you're not mature enough, you haven't had that much experience.
Absolutely.
And that's where I was going with it. If you already, for lack of a better term, got it all out your system, then you can. Now you're in a different space now you're in a different time in your life now where you could be platonic friends. So that was my side. So I definitely want to hear what you have to say, especially since you said yes.
I just want to defend our position because
please. I stand on both sides at different times in my life.
Because the position was that we felt like men always had an ulterior motive in the back, right here. You see right here, here in the back of the head, where it was always like, if something goes down and there's an opening, then I can get in there. But you go ahead and say what you got to say.
You know what's interesting? Like I had a lot of female friends in my time, right? And we speak about everything. And the same way you're looking at men saying they always have this in the back of their mind, I've heard this from women. That's always been in the back of their minds.
Really?
If I get the opportunity, I'm gonna take my shot at it.
Wow.
I've had women tell me that about myself.
Okay.
Like you don't know I have my eye on you, you know. And I'm like, word, get out of here. Yeah, you were cool. Like, you know, we did everything, talked about everything. So yeah, again, it's the individual, it's the phase of their life, and you got to have boundaries.
Right.
You know, you can't put yourself in certain situations. You know, that's another thing, because sometimes you might not realize how vulnerable you are at that time. And then, you know, one thing I learned is about motive and opportunity, right? When those two things meet, something comes out of you, right? So whenever motive and opportunity meets, you see the true state or condition that you're in at that time, right?
Wow.
So motive is almost always present.
Right.
Opportunity isn't,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the motive is there. I want to do this, but the opportunity isn't there. So when they meet, some things can happen.
Right.
So you have to be careful. You got to guard yourself.
What do you
That's
say
good.
as far as a man's maturity level in order to be a platonic friend with a woman?
I think, again, it varies, you know, depending on that person, depending on the relationship with that friend. Because with individuals, especially as you're maturing teens and then young adulthood and all that, you might be mature with a certain group of people, but less mature with a different group of people. So as a friend, you might have a friend that you're with, that, you know, that male friend or that female friend, but because y'all have a certain type of relationship, you carry yourself different. But then it might be another friend that you have, and it's a whole different type of interaction, you know? So really heavily on the individual, and also if they're in a relationship, if they know that other person's significant other, do they talk, right? Because you have situations where you have men that have best friends, female friends, and they're in a relationship and them two don't talk.
That was one thing that we discussed. I think the three of us agreed that's a deal breaker. Fine. We were okay with the fact of our partner having a best friend of the opposite sex. What we did say, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies, was that all three of us need to be friends. That they cannot
Absolutely.
just be friends, just them, but we also need to be friends so that we can feel, I guess, comfortable with that relationship, you know? I didn't think that was a great idea if I had a boyfriend and he had a best friend that was a female, but I was outside of the equation. I didn't know her. We didn't have a relationship, or the three of us didn't hang out together to make me feel comfortable in accepting that relationship, that friendship.
Right.
I agree.
I also think that it's up to the man to make that position straight with whomever he's with. Like, I'm with you. You have a girlfriend now, or a wife, or whatever, and you have a female that's your best friend. You need to make that position straight with her, with your friend, letting her know that, you know, things are going to be a little different now because, you know, I have a significant other, or I have a wife, or whatever like that, because it's not up to her to navigate how, you know, you're going to move now in that friendship. You need to make sure that you tell her, listen, I have to make sure that I'm respectful to my wife and her feelings and this and that. And then she needs to be, you know, like, okay, I totally understand.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. Marriage, right? When there's a marriage, I don't care if, you know, I had a friend from elementary school, right? A female friend, and we were great friends. Once I'm married and I have a wife, she has to be my best friend.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I saw Griselle sit up for that one. She was like,
she has to be. Like, this other one could be a long-term friend, a good friend, but she can never be my best friend, because that has to be my significant other, no matter what. I think outside of that, that's going to cause all kind of confusion. And you want to pour into your significant other. You want that to be your best friend. You know, I think outside of that, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah, but I think as the relationship is nurtured and the relationship is growing, you and your significant other will eventually grow into being each other's best friend. Because I think that's the ultimate goal before you get married. I think that person should definitely, like you said, Kwame, I think that your wife or your husband should ultimately be your best friend. You know,
It,
you
it,
have those special friends and that special connection with other people, but your wife, your spouse should definitely be your best friend.
and we have to look at what makes a person your best friend,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's
That's a choice, right?
Mhm.
And that's a vulnerability. Letting that person in, telling that person all these things you don't want nobody else to know,
Right.
sharing that trust with this individual. It's a choice. So I don't care how long this has been my best friend. When I'm saying this is my wife, my attention and focus has to go to her as being the number one, the best. I have to share those things with her that I'm not even sharing with my good friend because it's no longer my best friend.
Right.
You
So
know, I
let's
think that's important.
so let me ask you a question. How would you handle this in a situation where you just have a girlfriend and you have this best friend who's of the opposite sex? Like, how would you handle that kind of scenario?
Again, I believe is a choice, is a decision I would have to make. Right? If I'm dating this person and my goal is that we get married, my goal is that we're gonna be together, right? Death do us part, or however you want to call it, forever. My focus now, my attention, everything has to be focused on her, right? There's gonna be times where I can't do the things I did with my female friend before then because that's time that I'm spending with my significant other. That
Right.
becomes, we become one. That becomes my focus.
So you automatically end the friendship with
It's
that?
not ending the friendship. The friendship stays,
Okay.
right? But most of my attention has to be with my significant other.
No, I
Yeah.
agree with that. I was just confused as
But
to
there,
you totally end the friendship with this young woman or your another female friend because you have a girlfriend and your focus has
I,
changed.
I would say again, there's a lot of choices. The person that I choose to be with, I would want to be understanding of that relationship. I would like to share that relationship. It shouldn't have to end, but things would definitely have to change.
Also, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
The interaction would have to change. There are certain things that you might have done before you were married or before you was in another relationship that now you can't do.
mm-hmm.
You might sit up on the phone all night with them before. You can't do that now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
y'all might hang out together and sit and watch movies throughout the night. You can't do that now
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
because then you're leaving room for things to be misinterpreted. You're leaving room for questions to come up. So it doesn't end, but it changes.
See,
And it
that's
should.
why.
And it's not even just with a male with his female friend or a female with a male friend. Males with their male friends, females with their female friends. It changes when you're in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you got to look at it from that place too. You guys want to hang out and party and all this. It's like maybe once this month. No, we can't do every weekend. Oh no, I can't stay over here. I'm going home. You know, it changes the dynamic of any friendship.
Do you think that, like how you were saying, when there's goals in the relationship, when there's a purpose in the relationship, that you make sure that you are intentional in doing what you need, doing all those things that you said. Like when you don't see when you don't see this person in your future, do you think that you would make all those adjustments?
And you know, it's interesting you said that. Depending where the person is determines how they date.
Right.
Some people are not dating to be married.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
Right. So then that's a whole different, situation.
Yeah.
If I'm dating to be married, it looks totally different than when I'm dating just to be dating.
Yeah.
I'm just going to meet somebody, have fun. I'm not looking for a long-term relationship. I'm looking for something right now to just enjoy life and see life through somebody else's eyes. It's different than I'm going to find my wife or female going to find their husband, however that looks. So the dating is different. Some people don't want to be married. They just want to date. Some people don't want to be in a serious relationship. They're dating several people. And they tell a person, you know, I'm dating other people, some that are honest, some lie and it causes confusion. But when you figure out why you're doing what you're doing, changes everything.
I'm laughing because this actually is like a segue right into the other episode.
I was just gonna say that. Now that you brought that up,
right?
You be in love with two people, Kwame.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you be in love with two people?
Absolutely.
What you say? You say yeah?
And let me tell you why.
You got
let me
two
tell you
for
why.
two
I
with
told y'all
me.
before. I messed up a whole lot of times. I'm transparent, and I understand this. And the reason being is the way you let people into your life. Right? When you let people into your life, you become vulnerable into falling in love with that person.
Right.
And when you fall in love with a person, it doesn't just cut off. You just choose what you're gonna do with that love. Right? So you choose if you're gonna be with this person or that. There's a record, right? It said, if you can't be with the one you love the one you with. Right? And then you learn to love that person as well. Yes, your heart can gravitate to someone, and it's up to you how you're gonna be responsible with it. Some people are loving several people at the same time and are irresponsible making a choice on who they're gonna be with. And they keep trying to juggle and balance. It doesn't work. Eventually, someone's gonna get hurt.
So Kwame, that was my thing on this episode. How can you spread the love? Is it really love? Is it really being in love? It's not, and not just the whole sexual connection, but the emotional part of it. Like, how can you divide? When you're in love with somebody, you know your focus is that individual. How can you have focus on two individuals and really give all that energy into two individuals?
So let's just look at it from a love, a pure love, an innocent love, a love like you love your friends, right? Love like you love your family. We already love several people,
right?
Yeah.
Right, and we choose how we love them. Now, when we talk about a physical intimacy in loving people, and that's where I don't know when you said how do you spread it out. I was hoping you wasn't talking about how do we spread that out. I'm like,
no, not that.
You know that we go there. But anything we do, we have to have management. Anything we do, we have to have management. And that's one of the things I think a lot of time we lack in our immaturities. And as we grow and mature, we try to figure it out. It can be with our kids, it can be with our parents, it can be with our siblings, it can be with anyone. We have to have management, time management, right? We talk about money management, time management. Like the three managements I'm dealing with in my life right now, currently trying to get a grip of and really master it, is time management, number one, mind management, and money management, right? So if we were to add love management, we would have to find out how do we spread our love out amongst the people we love. And that's always going to have to deal with timing, right? Making time for the people you love, doing things with the people you love, speaking to the people you love, being there for the people you love. Everything we do in life, we have to figure out how to manage. And it's no different with love, right? A lot of things, like when we talk about how can you love, when you first hear that, you say, can a person love more than one person? We think of being in a physical relationship with, because we've done that in error so long, right? You know, person's in a relationship, loves this person. Something happens in a relationship, you're not feeling like you want it there, you're moving different, and you step outside of that. You just allowed yourself to be vulnerable to fall in love. When you give yourself to someone, you really don't have control over falling in love with them. It could be one thing they say. It could be one thing they do. It could be one expression, and all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I just felt something here.
Ooh.
But
this was that love?
Yes, true.
I think I felt some love here, right? So again, we have to be responsible in our interactions with people. We really do. Because if we're not, we can find ourselves in situations where we start caring for someone, we start wanting to be around someone, we start lusting for someone, we start loving for, you know, these different things come up. And then you sitting around and you're like, how did I get this far out here?
Because
Now you're sitting around and what you thought was love was lust. And now you're looking at your phone like, he's calling. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Oh my God.
I'm so glad you said that, because when Jackie just said, "Oh, Mimi's busted," that's what I was going to say. It's like you say that it's love. I don't think that those things that when I say ooh, when somebody and I get that little ooh, I don't feel like that's love. I feel like that's a chemistry that I have with that person, and because you can't help being attracted to somebody else. It's just, that's totally different. Having attraction for other people and being in love with them. Like, I'm not blind. I'm not, I have good conversation with people, so I connect with a lot of people. So, somebody can have great conversation. I'm like, yo, this person is dope. I really like their conversation, and we vibe on that. Or this person could be giving off a good scent or just have a good swag that I like. And I'm like, yo, he's fly. Mm-hmm. But that don't mean that I'm in love with him.
And we got to be careful. I hear that a lot. And I understand it. But a lot of times we like to try to like, I love, but I'm not in love, and all these different things. We try to define it in so many different ways to run away from what, like you said, those feelings you actually feel. Right. I still think it's a responsibility that we have to say, what am I going to do with these feelings? What am I going to do with this love that I feel? Because, I love a lot of people, but I'm not going to try to be, I'll use it for in love with them as far as in a relationship with them and go further with that. I love a lot of people, but there's only one person I'm actually in love with that I want to be with.
See?
And
that's
I'm responsible
the point I was
about
trying
that.
to make. That's the point I was trying to make. You can love a whole lot, but to actually be in love, can I really be with two people?
Even with that, I don't. How you don't want to go into semantics because we say in love. Because if you really look at in love, it means you love.
Okay.
But it's action.
We keep saying in love, meaning the action that I'm with this person.
Mm-hmm.
So I love this person. This is who I'm with. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love. All the other loves, you're in love, but you're not saying like I'm with this person. And that's a choice.
Isn't being in love?
There is people that have chosen to be with someone, right, and love them. But there is someone else that they love equally, but chose not to be with.
Okay. I just had this conversation a few hours ago. I was picking the brain of a male. So I was like, I really just need to hear their perspective. And exactly what you're stating, Kwame, is exactly what they stated. You love everyone. You love your kids. You're going to love one more than you love the other. You love everyone. And how love is really, it's defined depending on the person's perspective. My definition of love and being in love can look completely different to someone else. And someone just kind of hit me in the head with that earlier. And I was like, oh, so then I get it. You can love multiple people because he said exactly what you were stating. I love you can love your brother, you can love your mother, you can love your kids, you can love your best friends, whether they're male or female. It's still love.
Yes.
But you're choosing to be with this individual. So the love may look a little different, but it's still love.
The late Miles Monroe has stated that the English language is horrible with defining the word love. Because there's only one word, love. So I love my shoes. I love my wife.
Yes.
I love the way this salmon. I love salmon. I love my kids.
Yes. It's all.
It's So even I forgot it's a language that defines love differently. Like even with God, we have agape love, right? That's the unconditional love. And what's the other one called? Another, I forget the name of it, but it separates the type of love. In the English language, we don't really have that benefit. I love this, I love that, I love this. Imagine sitting there talking about you love some ice cream and then turn around to your significant other and say, I love you. Like the ice cream? Like, what's the difference? Like, you know what I mean? Or you love a video game and then I love you.
Yeah.
I love this dog. I love you so much. Hey, doggy, I love you. I love you. Then you turn to your significant other and kiss and say, I love you.
So do you think that we use the word love very loosely? And we
Yes.
don't, we
We
Yes.
don't,
said that, no, in the
Yes.
last, we said we use it too loosely. Yeah.
Yes.
we don't acknowledge the full meaning and value that the word love has behind it.
Right.
Absolutely.
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 I think
Imagine your brain trying to figure out what love you're talking about. You know what I mean? You just say love and the brain says, okay, love.
Love.
And now you're giving that same love the same equally every time you use the word.
That's right.
Right? So, I mean, we have to be real. Again, I go back, we have to be really responsible. It's a choice we make. And that's going to determine how we go with the love that we express with other people. So I believe, yes, you can be friends with opposite sex. I believe, yes, you can be in love with more than one person. But it's really a choice you have to make, a responsible choice you have to make.
So, okay, I mean, I love you just boomeranging and allowing us to go right into the next topic.
The next thing.
So, how men and women function in relationship. Like, there's this whole viral thing going around now. We don't have to really get into that too much, but it's just kind of goes into this topic of, are women dating outside of their standards, for lack of a better word? Like, you want a man that is of this 1% or this upper echelon, but is that really realistic for you?
All right, you gotta give me some clarity on that.
I needed clarity on that too.
So it's this whole thing going around now about women wanting to date these six-figure men, and they're not really realistically ready to date a six-figure man. They've never experienced a six-figure man. They're average at best, as someone had said. I don't.
Wait, who are you speaking to?
Let me finish. So I'm gonna tell you. It's this guy called Kevin. Is it Kevin Samuels? I think it's his name. You got to check out that video. It is a viral video now that's around, and he's talking to this young lady. She's 35 years old. So I'm gonna give you the scenario of the video. She's 35 years old. She has a 13-year-old son. She's a business owner, and she wants to date six-figure guys. She wants to date somebody who has six figures, but he told her that, and you know what? Maybe I'm presenting it wrong, because I want you to check that out on your own, because I have a position on that video, because it's like 23 minutes long when he was talking to her, but I think people really focused in on the last 6 minutes, because he really went in straight with no chaser. And I think, as women, this is really what the question probably should be. As women, when guys give it to us straight and they say how they really feel and what their position is, and give it to us with no fluff, we're not able to receive that. What do you think about that?
So my position on this is this. I think everybody should have their preference. Right. And it's okay. Whatever you desire, go after it. If you said, look, I wanna be in a relationship with someone that has six figures, so be it. Some people say, I want to be in a relationship with someone that has a great sense of humor, honest, and have these certain values. Go for it. I think we can't put this blanket cover over it saying that women are not ready to date men that have six figures. You know how many different types of men have six figures?
Absolutely.
It's not like one class of man has six figures and now you got to meet his standards.
That's a good position. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have to be clear on what we want and be ready to obtain what we want and be in a position to sustain it.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes you chase after what you want, but then you can't sustain it.
Yeah,
Can you elaborate on that a little more when you say sustain it? What do you mean by that?
So just being able to continue to do the things to keep that situation where you want it. Right? So for instance, some people cheat their way ahead, then they get the position they want, but they have no skills, no values, or anything to sustain it and keep it. Then they fall.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in relationships. Like I told you before, I've failed a lot of relationships, and I was the problem in all of them, like straight up, right? And a lot of it was because I wasn't ready. I didn't understand. I didn't know. And coming up in some of the communities that we come up with, we're not really ready for relationships. They don't teach that in elementary and junior high and high school. Like most of the relationship we know in our community, we really don't know the ins and out of them. They look great, but they're horrible inside.
Yes.
Like we don't really get the skills and the training that we need to be in a relationship. If we had that, we'll have more successful marriages.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We'll plan different. You know, I think here in America, we date too early. Our focus is not on other things. I think we play. Then we wind up going into adult situations as youth, and then we wake up and we don't know where we at and how to get out of that situation. Instead of them training us when we're young, showing us how it's going to be when we become adults and young adults, and preparing us for that, preparing us for relationships. I mean, you know, they should have sex ed in school, but what did we really learn from it? You know, they scare you with the diseases, the pictures of that, and you're like, but you're still having sex.
Right.
And
You get what I'm saying?
On the other hand, they're throwing condoms at you.
Yeah, here.
There
You
you
know,
go.
like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this is a disease, but take this because I know you're going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
And now you don't really have all the knowledge. So you say, if I put this on, I'm safe. Not understanding the danger of the emotional connections,
Right.
right? We just worrying about not catching one of these syphilis or something that they're showing us,
Mm-hmm.
not telling us that our whole life changes once we have this interaction with somebody.
How
Right.
important is that? You know what? I never thought of it that way until you just said it. They're protecting us from catching an STD, but they're not protecting us or teaching us, not even protecting us, because you can't protect anyone from having an emotional connection with someone else, but they're not teaching us how to deal when we get into that emotional connection. So,
Yeah,
I never thought of it that way, Kwame.
Yeah. And
That's
the other thing, I just what you were saying about the discussion about a sick, I still stand firm and believe there are a lot of great men out here. There are a lot of great women out here, right? But a lot of time we're bringing past hurt to these new relationships without getting the proper help we need to move forward. And then we start damaging each other further. But there are a lot of great men out there. There's a lot of great women out there. It depends on what you're looking for. Like, again, why are you dating? You know, what is your reasons? But they're out there. And again, to go back to that, you have the right to pick and choose who you want to deal with. You know, if you want somebody with money, or somebody might say, I want somebody that has a doctorate degree. Right? If that's what you want, go ahead, go for it. You know,
I think
but be
too,
prepared.
where disconnect comes in is that sometimes we focus in on people that don't focus in on us. We need to focus in on people that focus in on us. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you focusing in on somebody that has no interest in you because you like this type of person, but this person doesn't like you. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing more, and it's not anything against you as a person. That person, just like all three of us right here, right now, me, Jackie, and Griselle, we can all go out, and a guy will come over to Jackie, or he'll come over to Griselle, or he'll come over to me. It's not taking anything away from them.
He just has a preference.
You know what I'm saying? That's what he's focusing on. And too many times people want to focus in on, oh, I want the athlete, or I want this person, I want that person, but they don't want you.
My daughter Deja posted this today. This is what you just said. Can you see it? Or is it?
What is it?
Right. Choose people who choose you.
Yes, I read that yesterday.
You know how powerful that hit me today? It makes perfect sense.
So powerful. It makes
perfect sense.
It makes too much. It makes so much sense that it's too easy. You know what I'm saying? That people can't do it. It's like you need to focus in on people that focus in on you.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
I love getting this perspective from picking a man's brain.
I know.
On topics.
And I'm no expert. I'm just sharing my experiences.
Right. Right.
You drop some things that, you know what, that make me like, wow, I never thought of that.
I'm sorry, Jackie.
Because it comes from a male perspective, and you know, I was never like really close with my brothers. Like we never grew up together. So I mean, I have brothers, but we never really grew up in the same household. So I never I never had the opportunity to run things by them and get a boy's perspective at that age, or a young male's perspective. So, you know, when we talk with you, I enjoy it. You open my eyes to different things, you know, and I love to hear a male's perspective, because I don't have that, you know, where I can go to my brother and be like, yo, this is what I'm going through in my relationship, or this is what I went through. Like, what do you think? Like, is this the way men think? Like, I don't have that. So you are very insightful, and I'm grateful to have you on our show.
To God be the glory.
Okay, so I just want to put you, before we let you go, I just want to put you on a hot seat for one second.
Go ahead. That's why I'm here. I seen her face earlier. I thought I was going to start out there.
No.
I just want to know from you personally, yes, because you're a man that's, you know, striving to do better, who wears a lot of hats, who presents itself in a certain way, and you're looking for a certain type of. I want to know, what does a woman look like for you in your future?
Oh man, I've already found the woman that I desire to be with.
Amen.
Amen.
And I still stand on faith, and you know, we're not in together right now, and I still look at it as we're separated, and I'm just letting things take its process. But how does that woman look to me? I'll be totally honest with you. Before I met her, I was single. I was out of a relationship maybe about 1.5 years, and I went to God and I said, God, listen, I can't pick her. I said, I keep messing up. I said, I need you to show me the woman. I said, you know my heart, you know what I desire. Present her. And he did that. That's when I met her the same day, a few hours later.
Wow.
And when I look at her, she is exactly what I envisioned my wife to be. We both, first and foremost, love God, right? We both worship heavy. We both, see how I dress? She dressed just like this. We walk out the house like this is by every day. And just how we are. We both strive to achieve different levels in our lives. You know, we both went through different things. We can speak to each other, although we didn't know that. Like I said on the last show, I thought I was a great communicator. Then I realized how horrible I was. And then I had to learn these things, and through trainings and through therapy and all these different things, I'm like, wow, how did I overlook that? So, you know, I want a woman that kind of mirrors who I am. You know, a woman that's strong.
You're describing mirrors who you are.
Yeah. You're strong but gentle, compassionate, selfless, always willing to serve and help. And I see those qualities all through her. You know, only God knows where we will be. But I can only see, if me and her don't come back together, it will be a woman with those same type of qualities.
Right.
I need those in the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with.
And I think that's what you need to know and have clarity on, what your positions are on the person that you want to be with. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Absolutely. And even the things that I might dislike about her and she might dislike about me, it doesn't hold enough strength and gravity to force me away from the things that I love.
Right.
And those are the things where you have to make the sacrifices, and you have to learn how to navigate through them. You know, I'm not talking about perfect woman, but I'm talking about the perfect woman for me.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So I have a question. my little something.
Oh, you gotta do like this though.
That means they're ready for my question.
Let me share. This is how strong my faith is. She's still on my wall.
Hey, wow. I love that.
I
love that. Yes, manifesting. Yes. I love it.
Oh, you're so cute.
Oh,
that is so sweet. I love that.
You know, the scripture said faith without works is dead. So I trust God.
Hey, me too.
I trust God.
Amen.
Right.
Wow. So I'm gonna still ask my question though. How cute you are, I'm gonna still ask my question. What if?
Okay.
What if this your dream woman, this woman that you're praying for, what if she dated an ex-friend of you, a friend of yours? What if she's the ex of a friend of yours? Would you still pursue her? Going back to our topic.
So I'm gonna be totally honest, right there. Again, it goes back to where you at in your walk in life. If I met someone that was someone, okay, let's just talk about what men normally say, off limits, right?
Yes.
But that's the immaturity. That's the emotional part. That's the feelings. If one of my friends is dating actually, I had a friend that dated my ex.
Oh.
Were you okay with it?
Oh.
Or did it
Absolutely, because where I was at in my life.
Okay.
So like you were totally
That makes all of the
it.
difference, right? So my life has changed. I was born again. I was over that relationship, number one. Me and her are great friends too, when they were dating and everything.
Oh wow.
I didn't know when it happened till it happened, but I because again, my position in life at that time, me and him was cool. I mean, she would call me to help. So well, I can say, I don't know if you know, you remember P.O. that God bless that died? He used to live in Classen Point.
Kind of, the name rings a bell, but
his name is George Brown.
Okay.
God bless. And you know Charlene.
I don't.
Lorraine's sister Charlene.
He is giving all
you don't know nobody from over here no more.
Let me tell you, I don't know.
Brown.
I don't know people.
So watch this. Let me just bring it all together.
I don't know people's names. I know people's faces. Like the only people I know by names, your little clique who you was with. You know what I'm saying? Like.
So I'm gonna bring it all to it. This is it's funny because I just thought about it when you said it. So Charlene, I was dating her.
Wait, hold please. Before you say that, it's okay for us to move forward and with all the names that were given on here.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the reason being, me and Charlene, we're great. She's moved on. She's married.
Got you.
P.O. Brown, that's my brother. God bless him.
He's giving all kind of government names.
Right.
Point. He's giving address and everything.
Everything.
He was like a best friend of yours.
No, we were close. He wasn't one that I hung with every day, but we were close friends. We were good friends.
Okay.
Right. He's a little younger than me, but I loved him. He loved me. Okay. We had a good relationship. I was seeing her, and this is when Father's Day 2001. I went to her house when I was upset and going through. She wasn't home. She was in the church. I went to the church to get her, and that's when my life changed forever.
Wow.
That's when God set me up for the victory. That's when I gave my life to Christ. We didn't get back together. We wasn't together or anything. We moved on with our lives. Later on, after I was born again, maybe 2-3 years after, I'm not quite sure, she started seeing P.O. They were together. And again, because of where I was at in my life, it didn't bother me.
Right.
And because of me and Sha were so cool, so close, and we still are, that when he was going through some of the similar things that I was going through, I got to a point in my life where I was alcoholic. I was drinking every day, all day. People didn't even know because the way I carried myself, they were thinking I had it together, but I was going through all kind of inner hell. I was going through it. So it came a time in his life where he was dealing with alcoholism, and he was going through it. She called me to come and assist him, to help him get through what he was going through. And we all had that kind of understanding, right? Every situation won't play out like that. But again, because of where we all three were in our lives, it wasn't a big thing. He wasn't my best friend. I think with best friends, it probably would never go there unless it was God ordained and they were going to be together and married. And they're going to be married. Because you know why that's a no-no to a lot of people? Because a lot of times those are in situations where people are just dating to have fun, dating to have sex. And it's like, yo, come on, what you doing? And a lot of times those feelings are not really all gone. So it's like, yo, how you sleeping with her? You know, it's that kind of situation. Exactly. So again, it has a lot to do with the individual and where you at in your life.
Exactly.
I agree 100. I mean, now I definitely agree. Like, I think the best friend thing is off limits for me, but I do think that there's some situations where, like that one you spoke of, where you have enough time has gone lapsed in between your relationship, where you have enough time where you mentally that doesn't even factor in your life at all. You know, it doesn't bother you at all. So I think all those things matter.
It has a lot to do with being honest.
Yes.
Because you might be with your best friend, she's like, man, that was so long ago. I'm so over him. If y'all got something going on, go for it. Being honest, being true to it. Because imagine your best friends and y'all 20, right? With your best friends and she's dating this individual. Now it's 10 years later.
Right.
He's 30. Y'all connect somewhere. Y'all just kicking it. And y'all start to hanging out. Y'all start to really digging each other. You're not going to date him?
That's a little too soon. Maybe a little 30. A little 30 years.
30 years. Oh my God.
Girl,
30 years?
A hot mess. No.
I think situations happen.
I think 10 years is a good time lapse between.
10 years is good.
Yeah, 10 years is at 30. Girl.
10 years is good if it's not for me. Now, I'm just speaking for me. If it's not my best.
I'm gonna tell you right now, with me and where I'm at, the other thing is a lot of times, are there kids involved?
Right.
Yes, that's
right.
Amazing.
Like, how far was this relationship? How serious was this relationship?
Exactly.
Was it a bad breakup? Were you sharing information with your friend and now they dealing with, like, it's a lot of things involved.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that say no.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You can't go from uncle to step pops.
So true.
You my kid's uncle, now all of a sudden you they step pops. What's going on with you, man?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of things involved.
Yeah.
Acquaintance, years
they
of
like
past,
uncles with mommy now. What's going on? I don't understand. So
but
I think again it's maturity, choosing wisely.
Exactly.
Being real with the situation, being honest.
Yeah.
Things happen, things happen. If you think back, it's times where people dated your friend, but they really wanted you.
Yeah.
So true.
So now the opportunity presents itself. Remember I said motive and opportunity?
Yes.
So now the opportunity presents itself, but motive is like, I wanted you anyway then.
I talked to you ladies about this the other day. I don't even remember what the topic was, but remember I told you about the guy from the toy store?
Yes.
That's what happened. He was dating my friend, and then one day I told you, we passed by each other, and he said something and I said something, and we hooked up. And then after all this time that we were seeing each other, he was honest, and he was like, I really was looking at you the whole time, although I was with her, but I wanted to be with you. Ooh. So it did happen that way.
Real life scenario.
And that happens a lot.
Yeah. It happens a lot. It happens so, I've had scenarios like that where the guy was like, oh, I really wanted to talk to you. But for me, I was such a cynic back then too. Like, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Now, because you just trying to get with me now. So you saying that sound good. Oh, I was really trying to get with you.
Yeah, but it worked for her, so now you was really trying to get with her.
Exactly. But I definitely that's true. Sometimes it does motivate opportunity, like you said. That's such a good.
And I think a lot of times when that happens, the individuals themselves know it shouldn't happen, but we just choose it.
Yeah.
You just let it happen, and then later on you regret it. A lot of times when those things happen, they stay in secret.
I don't regret.
They don't come out. Because it can't. It's like, nah, this is too much. And you're still friends with the person. Like, this will crush him or this will crush her.
Yeah.
And it's that moment, that thing that happens. And it's just like, it happened. This can never come out.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's still a secret. It's never come out. I'm still friends with the friend. She doesn't know.
But is it a secret now, girl?
Yeah,
They ain't said nobody names. Stop trying to get names.
I'm not trying to get names.
It is a secret.
Don't be starting no trouble, Kwame.
All right, I'm sorry. I thought it was a secret.
No, it is still a secret.
Okay.
No one knows.
Right.
Wow.
So, and I will never tell because it goes back to our topic. And for me, at that time, it was all about girl code. I don't care
Right.
if I didn't like him anymore. You better not date
Right.
him. You better not talk to him. You better not give him your number.
And then
It's just girl code. But that was me at that time. I was in my 20s. I was probably in my 19, 18. That's when I worked downtown. So at that time, my mentality, I was a young girl. I wasn't mature. I didn't even know, you know, I didn't know anything. I was just playing. I was having fun. I was dating. I was having a good time. This guy liked me. I liked him. Hey, why not? I don't care that he was with my friend. But today, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
And there's a difference with this with that question, because I'm hearing dating. A lot of those scenarios never become a dating situation.
No.
You know, a lot of them become those secret
dating.
one night stands, or they do it a few times, but a lot of that stuff doesn't come open because a lot of people will judge that very harshly.
Right.
Even if it's not the person is saying I'm okay with it, there are other friends around like, yo, you a clown, man, what you doing?
But it's crazy.
That's for real.
It's crazy because I'm gonna continue to say dating because we dated and it was on and off even till we were older. And where my family knew him, like things like that. He shared with my family. He hung out at my house. My mother loved him. My aunts loved him. Like he became part of the family. Like they loved him to death. But our relationship was never an open relationship. It was secret.
That's why a lot of guys, I'm speaking from a guy place, hate those guys that are just close to the family. Hate those guys that are family friends. Hate those guys that become, oh, he's like family. That's a cousin. Right. Be like, nah, he hit.
That's right. Having those motives back in their mind.
Right.
Like, nah.
So can they really be friends?
Yeah,
exactly.
Like,
exactly.
You're like, you coming to hang out with me and you going to go home with somebody. We going to see if you really just a friend.
Hello.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank y'all. I appreciate it. The dialogue was great. Thanks for having me back again. I think overall with all three topics, you have to just be really responsible.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to be responsible.
Give your Instagram and your website and everything. I know you're getting ready to launch, so tell the people.
Yes. So The Hard Truth, TheHardTruth. So hard without the A. We dropped the A, no additives, just the 100% truth.com. And we're going to be launching the website on Christmas Day. So it's thehardtruth.com. So look forward to that. And what the hard truth is, overall, the hard truth is what you need to hear, but don't want to hear. That's the foundation of what the hard truth is. But what we're doing is building up the community one brand at a time. So we have several community brands under our brand, and we'll be launching their brands out as well throughout the year to help build them up and sustain them in their own businesses so they can move forward financially and help to involve other people in the community, hopefully with business opportunities as well. So that's what we do, building up the community one brand at a time.
Well, thank you for that.
Yes.
Thank you for the work that you do,
Yes.
For building up the community, for including all these brands, for giving them an opportunity. I know that it's so hard to even, put yourself out there, let alone, try to get the opportunity to work with someone that is like-minded. So thank you for that. But I want to ask.
Well, I can't take all the credit. I have two partners.
Well,
so
thank you and them for your hard work.
Yeah. One of them is Kenneth H. I call him H. And one of them is my partner who I ran with hard in the streets. He's turned his life around. He's by my side doing the work for SUV. And he's one of the co-founders of Hard Truth. And that's my guy, ACO.
Oh, well, we thank you and we thank them for the work that you do. Keep doing what you do. Congratulations on your Christmas launch.
Thank you.
I definitely, is it going to be up on Facebook, IG?
Yes, it'll be on both.
Well,
Absolutely.
I'll be looking forward to it. Can I ask you to pray us out tonight?
Absolutely. All right. Behold how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Father God, we thank you for this opportunity to come together. We thank you, oh God, for this platform, oh God. We thank you for the dialogue, oh God. God, we ask that as we go forward, oh God, that you cover all of us, oh God, increase our wisdom and our understanding, oh God, that we can be of use and help for others, oh God, that might be going through different situations, that we can have a positive input in that dialogue, oh God. Comfort us, oh God. God, those that don't know you in the pardon of their sins, we ask that you send your ministering angels out, oh God, speak to their hearts and mind. We know that your scriptures say you don't desire that any of us perish, but that we all come to repentance. John 16 says that for God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son, so whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life. God sent not his son into the world to condemn the world, but through him he might be saved. God bless you. God bless us on today, God, continuously, that we can be a blessing to others. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Kwame.
Thank you for that.
Happy holidays,
You're
Kwame.
welcome. Saying to you, God bless, enjoy,
Yes,
and be
God bless.
safe.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, bye.
And that's it on to Puerto Ricans and a Black Girl with our girl who's back and our special guest,
Yes.
maybe.